the document Nostra Aetate, the promulgation of which reversed, I would say, centuries of Catholic and papal, it reversed that Catholic and papal anti-Semitism, and that was earth-shattering with regard to the church. It kind of reversed it. It stamped out, as best it could, the fact that, number one, Christianity somehow superseded, when God used the word supersessionism, that somehow Christianity superseded the old covenant and was the only valid covenant to speak of now. And what the council did, and by the way, there were centuries of misinterpretations of scriptures, concepts and understanding of Jews that really worked to the detriment of any relationship between the church and Judaism. But thank God we have turned the tide at this point in the relationship between Jews and Christians. It opened a dialogue between the two religions. And one of the things it did was to make sure that people understood that all of the misinterpretations of Scripture, which we had followed for centuries, were now, with the new movements in Scripture studies and scholarship, we now understand that all of those Scripture interpretations that brought about anti-Semitism and anti-Judaism have now been reinterpreted and rescinded. And obviously it involved growth, and it involved change. And fortunately there are some who are open to change. To change is a very mature process, but it's also it's a process that demands a lot of humility.
Yeah, and also the process itself was not just about being friends. Being friends, you know, Jews and Christians have been friends for many centuries. But it really is on the theological level, in churches and synagogues. How do we deal with each other? So on the Jewish side, for example, the determination if Christianity is this is a conversation that's been going on for centuries. Is the Trinity considered a valid, in a sense, faith or not? And if it's not a valid faith, which means that if it crosses the line of the unity of God from our perspective, then there's actually legal ramifications from the Jewish perspective. I can give an example from, let's say, how you deal with faith that you consider, let's say, idol worshiping, right? So you can't do business with people that you think are idol worshiping, or their faith is directly opposing the unity of God. But we actually see that over the years, Judaism did not treat Christianity on the ground like this, because it did do business with Christians. It did, respect their tradition. So they may not liked it, but they respected it. But that process continued to the people in the synagogues and the churches. And this is where we are, I think, now, when we were not before.